So normally when we begin, we start with names of Swami Chinmayanandaji. And these names were written in praise of him, so in praise of his qualities. And the thing is, even if you don't know him or if you're unfamiliar with Gurudev, you can still enjoy the names because good qualities are good qualities for everyone. And they remind us to bring out those qualities in ourselves. So we'll chant a few and then we'll go into one of them. So we'll see about one of them. Okay? Om Yatatmane Namaha.
Om Yatatmane Namaha.
Om Yajnakrite Namaha.
Om Yajnakrite Namaha.
Om Loka Prasiddhaya Namaha.
Om Loka Prasiddhaya Namaha.
Om Vagmine Namaha.
Om Vagmine Namaha.
Om Vibhave Namaha.
Om Vibhave Namaha.
Om Vinodapriyaya Namaha.
Om Vinodapriyaya Namaha.
Om Vinayashilaya Namaha.
Om Vinayashilaya Namaha.
Om Vitaragaya Namaha.
Om Vitaragaya Namaha.
Om Vedanta Vedyaya Namaha.
Om Vedanta Vedyaya Namaha.
Om Vedanta Vedyaya Namaha.
Om Vedanta Vedyaya Namaha.
So this name means one, salutations to one who can only be known through study of Vedanta, through study of the Shastras. So someone had once asked Gurudev to explain to them about Swami Tapovenji Maharaj, who was Gurudev's guru. So they said, could you tell us about him? And Gurudev said, if you want to know about him, you have to read the Upanishads. You have to read the scriptures. Everything about him is written there. So, if I were to ask you, right, who are you? If you're me, you might say, well, I'm 5 foot tall. I'm not that tall, so I'm 5 foot tall. I have black hair. I have brown eyes. And then you would say, no, those are all things about your body. Who are you? So then you might say, well, I have an aunt. I have one sibling. I live here. Then they would say, no. Those are things that are related to your body. Who are you? Then you can say, all right, well, I like to read. I like to go to the movies. I like to watch Hindi soap operas, right? So if people watch them here. And then you say, no, those are things that your mind likes. Who are you? So you can say, well, I support UNC. Maybe I support PNM. Depending on your persuasion, or I support the West Indies cricket team, or I support the Indian cricket team. And then you would say, no, those are opinions and beliefs that you hold in your intellect. Those aren't who you are. See, all of those things, as we go through our life, they're not always the same. So when I'm younger, my body is smaller, right? My thoughts are different, my likes are different. That age, I like to play with dolls and toys and stuff like that. And then when I get older, you like to play with different toys. So you have, when you're small, you have toy car, and when you're big, you have big car, right? But generally, the only difference is your toys have become more expensive as you get older. But they changed. And even your opinions change. So one year you're supporting one party, next year you're supporting another. So if these things are all changing, then who are you? Because you still say, I'm the same person when I was small, and now when I'm here now, same person is there. So who is that? This truth is what's spoken of in our Shastras. And that truth is what Gurudev embodied. And if you see, Vedanta tells us that who you are in truth is God alone. Right? You are God. And you are something that's beyond time, space, any kind of conditioning. You are beyond all of those things. See, a lot of us, we think that we're subject to time. So when I get old, I'm scared to get old. I'm scared to go on. I'm scared to change even my opinions. But if you even see that picture of Bhagavan Shiva, right? Around his neck, he's wearing a snake. Right? That snake represents Kala, time. And it shows that for Bhagavan, he wears time. Time doesn't wear him because he's the master of time. We are also the master of time. See, snake also is something everyone is afraid of. But you see, God's not afraid. So all of us are afraid of time. But if we recognize our oneness with God, then we become the masters of time. We move beyond it. So this truth is something that's only spoken of in our scriptures because they are the authority for that knowledge. You see, we have so many different kinds of authority, right? If you have belly gripe, belly ache, you have to go visit one of our very nice doctors that are here. We have you get some free medical advice if anyone's having belly ache. But they know about that. If you're having some kind of, not internal plumbing issue, but different plumbing issue, right, in the back or something, if your pipes aren't working, then you have to call the plumber. Okay? So if you're having belly ache, you can't call the plumber to help you with that. And if you're having problems with those pipes, you can't call your doctor. They can't help you. So, if you want to know facts about who you are, your height, your weight, where you live, you have to look on Facebook, or you have to call up your doctor, get your medical records. Those are all facts about who you are. But if you want to know who you are beyond all those facts, you have to look at the authoritative source. And that is our scriptures. So you might know facts about Gurudev's life. If people have been tuning in to 108, all of our listeners, hello. So if you've been tuning in, you by now could probably recite all the facts about Gurudev. Where he was born, how old he was when he first started his great quest to spread these scriptures. You know that he had nice long beard, you can see the picture. But those are all facts about Gurudev. If you want to know who he was, who he is, actually, I should not say was, is. You have to study our scriptures. That's what this name tells us. Gurudev used to say, so people were, when he was towards the end of his life, they were very sad, right? Because they thought he would have to depart this world. We all have to sometime. But they used to say, Gurudev, what are we going to do when you go? How are we going to find you? And he said, you just look into your heart. You look there and you will find me. So, this truth is not something that you can go to the store and buy. Like here they have Guardian newspaper. You can't find this in the newspaper. Actually, I'm scared to read the Guardian, frankly, because everything on the cover is always something very disturbing and scary. So I don't usually pick up the paper. But you can't find this knowledge there. You have to see Vedanta Vedyaya Namaha. Vedya means must be known through what? Vedanta. So this scriptural teaching. So that was Gurudev's name. All right. So we'll have a small bhajan to Gurudev in his honor, right? Aao Gurudev, darshan dijo.
Aao Gurudev, darshan dijo.
Tum ho jagat ke daata. दाता
तुम हो जगत के दाता तुम हो जगत के दाता
तुम्ही हो ब्रह्मा तुम्ही हो विष्णु
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 तुम्ही हो शंकर रूपा
तुम्ही हो शंकर रूपा
सृष्टि स्थिति लय स्वरूप तुम हो
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 तुम हो अनादि रूपा
तुम हो अनादि रूपा
तुम हो अनादि रूपा
तुम हो अनादि रूपा
आओ गुरुदेव दर्शन दीजो
आओ गुरुदेव दर्शन दीजो
आओ गुरुदेव दर्शन दीजो
आओ गुरुदेव दर्शन दीजो
तुम हो जगत के दाता तुम हो जगत के दाता
तुम हो जगत के दाता तुम हो जगत के दाता
तुम हो जगत के दाता तुम हो जगत के दाता
तुम हो जगत के दाता तुम हो जगत के दाता
So this says that you, Guru, are Brahma, you're Vishnu, you're the form of Shankara, Lord Shiva also. And this is Guru in his cosmic form, right? Not, again, not the facts, but who Guru is in essence. God himself come to teach us, right? And so, please grant me your vision, darshan. So darshan can be taken in different ways also. One is we pray that God comes in front of us, gives us some nice vision of, you see, like Lord Krishna coming in with his flute. Some people, we pray for that vision. But here what we're saying is, may I see the world the way you saw the world. Because you see Bhagavan in everything. See, when you pray hard and you get a vision of Lord Krishna, it can only last as long as your eyes are closed. But if you get the vision that the Guru has, that vision never leaves you. So your whole life should be transformed by that vision. So that word darshan is so beautiful. Okay. So now we are entering into the Gita portion. We're seeing chapter 16. Chapter 16 of Gita deals with Daivi Asuri Sampat, the wealth belonging to those who have divine qualities, the wealth of divine qualities, Daivi, and the wealth belonging to Asurik Sampat, meaning those who have those Asurik qualities. So this isn't so that you can, take notes and say, man, my neighbor, he never shares his mangoes with me. I'm sure he's an Asura. I'm going to get some confirmation today in satsang so I can tell everyone. This isn't for that. This is for us to recognize that our world has certain qualities. People have different qualities, different personality types. And I need to make a choice about what kind of qualities I'm going to keep around me in my life. Okay? Because The way we think, the way we act is the way we become, who we become. So this is to help us turn a mirror on our own selves. Okay? Now, it says that Daivic qualities are ones that are illumining. They help us see things in the proper light. Daivi comes from the root div, which means to shine in Sanskrit. And Asud people are those who, they have certain qualities which make them act out of harmony with everyone else. So again, this is not to say anyone in particular, but you all have had that experience where when maybe you're singing or there's some orchestra playing and one person's instrument is out of tune. It doesn't matter how nice everyone else is playing, you'll only hear that thing. People who have asuric qualities are like that. Everyone is so happy and nice and they're doing their thing and they have to come in and ruin it, right? They're like that one discordant note. So they're out of sync with the universe, with this world. So those are asuric qualities. We'll see them as we go along, right? So we'll first chant verses 1, 2, and 3. Could have just said 1 to 3. Shri, okay. Ashta Shodashodhyayah
Atashodashodhyayah
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhihi
Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhihi
Jnana Yoga Vyavastitihi
Jnana Yoga Vyavastitihi
Danam Damascha Yajnascha
Danam Damashta Yajnascha
Swadhyayastapa Arjavam
Swadhyayastapa Arjavam
Ahimsa Satyamakrodaha
Ahimsa Satyamakrodaha
Tyaga Shantirapaishunam
Tyaga Shantirapeshunam
Daya Bhuteshvaloluptvam
Jaya Bhuteshvalo Luptvam
Mardavam Hrirachapalam
Mardavam Hrirachapalam
Tejakshamadriti Shaucham
Tejakshamadriti Shaucham
Adroho Nati Manita
Adroho Nati Manita
Bhavanti Sampadam Daivim
Bhavanti Sampadam Devim
Abhijatasya Bharata
Abhijatasya Bharata
Abhijatasya Bharata
Abhijatasya Bharata.
So we currently find ourselves in a time where we're sorely lacking in these Daivic qualities. Qualities which keep us in harmony with one another, which keep us in harmony with our environment, with our society. And Gandhiji, I'll share with you, he had 7 different ailments to our human virtues, okay? He said, when we have a desire for wealth without work, or pleasure without conscience, knowledge without character, business without ethics, science without humanity, religion without sacrifice, or politics without principles. And these are things which are very rampant in society today. If you want to look at work, everybody wants to get a nice big fat paycheck and they don't want to do any work. They call it having a desk job, right? They like having that not everyone, because some people are, but some people, they just want to sit at their desk, be nice air conditioning, like we are in the nice temple, right? And they don't want to do any work. I saw an advertisement for a tie that's inflatable, okay? An inflatable tie. So that you can take naps at your desks, right? So you can have it like a pillow, take a nap at your desk. Okay, that's not someone that wants to work. That's someone that wants to sleep. Yeah, people don't want to work for anything. There was another one, funniest one. I saw a picture of a man in his car, and he had the window down, and he was in a parking lot, and out of the window he has his dog's leash, and the dog is outside and he's driving his car instead of walking the dog. Really, I saw a picture. That is laziness. Okay? If you want to talk about science without humanity, I recently saw, like, they had a little clip of the new Bugatti car, and it changes colors. Okay? So it's a marvel. If you look at it, it's a marvel. How many scientists would have spent time to figure out how to do that? But is it useful to society? Yes, your car can change colors, but are you helping anyone? Has that scientific development helped anybody? In politics, I don't even need to tell anyone. Everyone is very up to date with the political issues. So many things we see where we're seeing this great divide between our values and what is necessary for us to live in the world in a peaceful way. So these qualities really speak about this. And there's a nice saying that if you were to ask people, do you want change? Everyone would raise their hand. Then you ask everyone, who wants to change? And no one is going to raise their hand. Because everyone wants somebody else to change, and no one wants to change themselves. So please, this is for us to really evaluate our own qualities. And the first one that's given is abhayam, fearlessness. And the reason why it's given first is because, there's a nice quote by Maya Angelou. She says, virtue, out of all the virtues, courage is the most important. Because without courage, you can't practice any of the other virtues consistently. So this is that same abhayam. Without fearlessness to really analyze yourself, to be honest with yourself, to really take up the virtues that are taught and live by them in a consistent way, you have to have fearlessness. You can't be afraid to face your own self. So that's why it's given first. Because all the other qualities are going to sound really nice. But if we're not brave enough to take them up, then they just remain words in a book. Or words that are said by someone. They don't become ours. So abhayam is the first. This is given as essential to our spirituality. Swamiji has a saying, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for everything. So if you can't stand for your dharma, stand up as Hindus, just to be able to say, this is what I believe, and this is something that I hold dearly, and I'm not going to be swayed, that takes abhayam. The next one that's given here is sattva samshuddhi. This means purity of mind. And two words are given. More words are given also in the commentary, but two important words are absence of what's called vanchana. This is trickery or fraudulence. And absence of anrita, which means dishonesty, untruth, adi, etc. So there's a story. There was once a man who, in some of these European countries, they have stories about this thing called a leprechaun. You guys heard? Leprechaun? For St. Patrick's Day, whatever. But that leprechaun, in all the stories, he always has a pot of gold. And he doesn't like to share it with anyone. He likes to keep it for himself. But if you can capture a leprechaun, you can make him show you where his gold is. So one day there was a man, and he was walking, and he came across this leprechaun. And he wasn't looking, so that man quickly snatched him up. And this leprechaun is saying, no, let me go, let me go. And he said, no, I won't let you go. You show me where your gold is. So this leprechaun knew, he's serious. So he took him to where the gold was. And it was in a field full of boulders, rocks. Not karhi boulders, rocks. Right? So he pointed to one and he said, behind this boulder is my gold. So the man said, okay, no problem. Now, I have this he had a red kerchief. And he tied it around that boulder. And he said, leprechaun, you promise me I'm going to go home and get my shovel. You don't move this rock, don't move the gold, and don't you dare move my kerchief, right? My scarf. Leprechaun said, okay, no problem. So this man's very excited, right? He runs home, he gets his shovel, and he runs back. He comes, and what does he find? On every single boulder is tied a red kerchief. So he kept his word. He didn't move the gold, but the man couldn't find it because every rock had that. That's called trickery, right? That you use your words or you use your actions to make someone think that this is what's the case, but really you're going to do something else. All right? And this isn't this is a fantastical story, but a lot of people use trickery these days for everything in business. Okay? So many different things. I will not elaborate. So to deal with this, you must have purity of mind, which means you must always have good intentions when you're interacting with people. Don't try and convince them of something else using your words or your actions. Be very straightforward. This is actually linked to another word, arjavam. Arjavam comes from this rijitva, which means straightforwardness. Arjavam and Arjuna are very close because Arjuna's name comes from this arjavam. Because Arjuna was also very straightforward. If he was thinking something, he would tell Lord Krishna. When he was uncertain about what to do, he admitted that he didn't know and he sought help. Why? Because he has this quality of rijitva, arjavam, very straightforward. The next one is jnana yoga avastitihi. And in the commentary is given, bhashya is given, jnanam shastratah acharyatah cha atma dipadarthanam avagamah avagatanam. All right, don't get scared. I'll explain it. So, this says you have to be firmly fixed in knowledge, jnanam, of what? Shastras and what is given by the Shastras and what's given by the Acharya regarding what? So in this world, there's all different kinds of knowledge. I had already mentioned, some people know all of the cricket scores. They know who's doing well, everyone's statistics. That's also kind of knowledge. When people are getting ready to be married, they want to know, can the girl make roti? That's like the knowledge that's on everyone's minds. Okay? Or these days, let's be equal opportunity. Men should also learn how to make rotis, I think. So girl is probably thinking now, does he know how to make roti? So she's thinking. That's also a type of knowledge. There are also people that give a lot of makeup tutorials. They become makeup guru. That's also kind of knowledge. Really, I'm saying. You go on YouTube, so many people. Okay? All of these are different types of knowledge. In fact, there was the first recorded divorce because some man said, I'm getting divorced because I didn't know what this girl looked like without makeup. Really, that happened. Sad state we're in, but there we go. So, all of these are different kinds of knowledge, things that you can become very good at. But that's why this bhashya is so nice because it gives exactly what kind of knowledge. It's the knowledge from our Shastras, from our Acharya, regarding the Atma, the self, and that subject matter, not other things. Understanding that is jnana. But why have they given jnana yoga avastitihi? Avastitihi means firmly fixed in jnana and yoga. Yoga, it said that you focus all of your senses to concentrate on that knowledge. And you do it firmly, in a firm way. One uncle told me this song, I'll sing it, right? It's not just for weekends. So he said, I go to church on a Sunday. The vows that I make, I break them on Monday. I laughed very hard when I heard that, right? But a lot of people are like that. They know what's good, And they know it for all of Sunday. And then Monday come and they go back to normal. So that yoga avastitihi means you're firmly fixed in that knowledge. Knowledge is information. Yoga is living that knowledge. So knowledge is, I know that vegetables are good for me and paratha roti is not good for me. That's knowledge. Wisdom or yoga is not eating roti and choosing vegetables when you go to eat. So, no, that's the difference, right? A lot of us have that jnana and we don't have the yoga part. But they go hand in hand. You can't separate them. So our knowing is we are Satchit Ananda and living that way in our life. And the link between these two, jnana and yoga, is another quality, daivic quality, which is swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means continuous study of the scriptures. That's how you become more and more convinced. Just like if someone is just passing in the street and they tell you something, that's one thing. But if I go to school, so someone on television, they make some remark that, oh, salt is sodium and chloride. Okay. But if I go to school and I study that thing, I study the bonds and I know it really well, then my study makes me believe that that statement is true. So these two concepts are linked by what? Swadhyaya. Okay, good. Next is dana. Dana means, the translation is charity, but charity is a very empty word when we consider what dhanam means in our scriptures. Charity has this connotation that, oh, I have so much money and these people don't have money, so let me give them some. And I'm so great because I'm giving it. But the definition of this dhanam is yatha shaktihi sam vibhaga anadinam. So that says yatha shaktihi means according to your capacity, this sam vibhaga, you take part and you apportion apart and give it as what? Anna, food, etc. Annam is given as the highest form of dana. So what this says is our moral obligation is that when we have a lot, we have to also give an according amount. Our money isn't just for us. Our money is to support dharma, support everyone together. And annam is given as a very sacred thing because annam supports this very body, our very vehicle for sadhana. Moksha karadvara. This body and our human life is our vehicle for doing sadhana and realizing God. So when we sustain that by giving dhanam, we're doing our duty. We're not doing something so great. We're just doing what's given to us in our scriptures to do. And you'll see that these days, people have more and more. If you compare, even I would have heard in Trinidad, how much prosperity and wealth has come to this country in the past 20 years, 30 years. But you find, 50 years, but you'll find that the more and more people have, the less and less they're willing to share. I was talking with Uncle Kumar a day, and he was telling me that long time, if you had to put a new floor in your house or you had to do some building project, you just put up a big pot, you cook food, you call everyone in the village, and they'll all come, they'll hang out with you, you guys will laugh, have fun, and you'll put that thing up, and you don't have to call contractor, you don't have to pay a whole bunch of money. They'll come and do it. And your whole life you'll feel that that house was built by love. But where have all those values gone? Why is it that we have more today and we have less of that? Because our feeling of dana, giving in our own heart, has become so dry. We've become all shriveled up inside. We don't want to give. If I have one thing, I want everyone to know I have it, but I won't share it. So dana. And then next is damaha. Damaha is control of the senses. Bahya karananam upashamaha. Upashamaha means to quieten. What? Our outer sense organs. So always our senses are running after things that we like. So you want to sit in meditation and then you start thinking, if only I had a cup of coffee, I could probably concentrate a lot better. Or my tummy starts to rumble, so then I have to get up and have a snack. So then you look at the time and it's been 2 hours and you haven't done any meditation, any japa. Why? Because your senses are constantly running after other things. So Dhamma means to quieten your senses so that you can focus on Bhagavan. Next quality that's given is yajna. Yajna is offering to the gods by offering to the devatas by following what is given in our Shruti and Smriti, our Shastras. So, offering to gods is, okay, if I have to give an offering at the temple, that's easy. But I don't know how much it costs to get airfare ticket to go Swarga and give any offering straight to the gods, right? It's probably very expensive, I'm guessing. But Gurudev gives a very good explanation of what they mean by devatas. Devas are what? Vayu, Agni, Apaha, wind, fire. These qualities are our natural world. So when we give service to the world, we are doing yajna. So when we take care of our air, so right now, we're having so many pollution issues, we're having so many issues of destruction of our habitats. These things are our world. And if we take care of them, we're taking care of the devatas. Because Vayuhu is air. The air that we breathe, if we take care of it, then we're taking care of Vayu. We've given as a sacrifice to Vayu. It's not that you have to go, or you can only give yajna, do yajna only havan at the temple. You should serve the temple. You should serve your community. You should serve your environment. These days, everybody wants to drink a bottle of water, plastic bottle, every time they get thirsty. You think how many water bottles you've used in your life. That stuff doesn't go anywhere. It's trash. It gets thrown into the dump. Those chemicals leak into the earth. They go into the water. Then you drink it and you wonder why you get cancer. Really. So, we don't think. We don't think that what I drink is going, once I throw it away, where's it going to go? We don't think that far. We think, I'm thirsty, I have to have it now. And then, what happens? So this kind of seva we can do to the devatas and protect our planet. And yajna is linked very closely to the next value, which is tapaha, tapas. Tapas comes from tap, which means to burn. Burn means I sacrifice something lower in myself for something higher. Because watch, if you put a ball at the top of a hill and you push it, for that ball to go downhill, you have to do anything? No. Naturally, it will go down. But to push that ball up the hill takes a lot of effort. So for us to do wrong things, very easy. For us to keep our lazy habits, bad habits, is very easy. But for us to put in good habits, okay, I'm going to wake up early, I'm going to do puja in the morning, I'm going to do some self-study, swadhyaya, takes a lot of effort. Burns. You don't want to get out of your bed. It's so comfortable. Why can't I just find God right underneath my covers, you know? I'll think about God as I close my eyes and do sideways japa, right? It would be very nice if we could do that. But tapas means no. Sacrifice a little so that I get so much more. I find the higher within myself. That is this tapas. And right now is Navaratri time. And first Devi that we worship is Mother Durga. Mother Durga carries big sword and all the weapons, right? Now, Mother Durga is not coming to chop that guy who is not sharing his mangoes with you, okay? That's not the point. We invoke Mother Durga because we want her to destroy the evil qualities or evil tendencies that's within us. So you not wanting to get out of your comfortable bed, please, Mother Durga, you come and you wipe that out of my personality. Make me very strong and active and bright in the morning. That is what we're asking her to come and do. And this is the time that we should really be asking her for that help. Okay, we all need it. Next is ahimsa. Ahimsa is non-injury. Ahimsa is very nice because we define non-injury as our intention behind the action. See, a doctor, if a doctor is doing surgery, he has to cut you open to remove whatever disease or cancer might be there, right? But if you're going shopping and some bandit does the same thing, that's ahimsa. Doctor is doing it, or that is himsa, sorry. Not ahimsa. That is himsa. That's hurting you. But when doctor does the same thing, it's to make you well. So that is considered ahimsa. Why? Not the action, but the attitude behind that action. So the way we do things and why we do things. Sometimes people think, oh, okay, like someone has come to some party and maybe they're wearing some dress that you don't like personally. So you say, you really look, I'm sorry, I just wanted to tell you the truth, but that dress, you're looking really not good in that dress, right? It's not looking good. That person's already wearing the thing, they've already come, you don't need to tell them. Why? Because that is himsa. You're trying to hurt them, hurt that person with your words. Your intention is like that, even though you cover it up by saying that you're telling them the truth. So our intention is what determines whether we are acting out of ahimsa or himsa. Why we do and what we do. Why we do what we do. Next is satyam. Satyam, they've given very nice, is speak about things as they are. That is being truthful in your life. Don't exaggerate. Oh my gosh, that was so bad. That was so embarrassing. That was the worst thing that could have happened. We're always doing this. Any small thing happens, and we like to make it a big deal so other people will feel sympathetic and they'll say, oh no, what happened? Oh, that person is so bad. I agree with you. These things are all exaggerations. They're actually considered a satyam, to exaggerate things. There's a nice saying that there were once two men, and one was chasing the other one. So the third guy is watching, and he stops the man, and he says, why are you chasing him? He said, this man, I was happily walking, he stopped me for 2 hours and told me all of his problems, and I listened, and then when I tried to tell him my problems, he started to run away. So now I'm chasing him so I can stop him and make him listen to all of my problems now. We're like this. We like to exaggerate, and we want everyone to listen to our problems. This is asatyam, because you're taking a situation and you're blowing it out of proportion. You're blowing it out of proportion so that you can get some sympathy or some attention from it. So the more satyam we have in our life, the less and less krodha we have in our life. Akrodha is given here, meaning not getting angry. See, we get angry in life because we want things to be other than what they are. So just imagine, you are deciding to go on a nice walk through the forest, and you're walking through on the path, and right in the middle of your journey is a huge tree. So you look at the tree, and you decide, okay, so I want to keep going on my walk, so I'm going to walk around the tree and keep going. You don't get mad at the tree. You don't spend 20 minutes of your time, yelling at the tree, calling it all kinds of names, saying, oh, you're so tall and green and brown and you're just standing there in my way. You don't get upset with the tree. You just maneuver around it and keep on your journey. In life, if we could treat people and situations the way you treat a tree in your path, you'll be a lot happier. You have something you want to do. Sometimes a person or a situation will come into your life that makes it difficult to do that. But you can either get mad or you can just work around it and move on. We should treat situations as like things in the world. It's just there. We don't have to feel any which way about it. Everyone has their own swabhav, everyone has their own character. I just have to work around it. If you know someone is untrustworthy, and every time you lend this person money, they never pay it back, instead of getting upset with the man, just stop lending him money. People, they want to keep giving that person the same thing, and then when he disappoints them over and over, you want to get vexed, you want this and that. No. Just learn your lesson, accept them like a tree in the forest, and move forward. Akrodaha. Then, tyagaha. Tyagaha is renunciation. It's also synonymous, can be used synonymously with sannyas. So everyone, when they hear this, they get scared. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to put on orange. I'm going to have to give up everything. I'm going to have to live in the mountains without air conditioning, car. No. Sannyasa or tyaga means renouncing ego in our actions. So even when we do good things, we can get big ego about it, right? Oh, I did the biggest puja, I gave the most dhanam, I fed so many people, I fasted for 2 months, I'm so spiritual. You know, we can have a lot of ego even in the good things we do. So when we have this quality, what we do is we renounce that feeling of, oh, I'm so great. All I think is, everything I have was given to me by God, and everything I do is going back towards God. So where do I come in? I'm just like that pipe. The water flows through. From one place, it gets pumped to go to another place. But I'm just like that pipe. Or flute. Flute is a much nicer example. But Bhagavan, I'm like a flute. Bhagavan, you please play your tune through me. It's given, Tagore has a beautiful poem about that. So, this tyaga. Then, the other quality that we have is shantihi, being peaceful. This is different than damaha, which is having all of our sense organs under control. Shanti says that our mind is very peaceful. Our mind isn't always running after things. It's not always, even if I'm not running after car and money and wealth, all that kind of stuff, I can still be sitting and wondering about the past, brooding, mulling over the past, crying over it, getting really worried about the future. Still, my mind isn't on God. It's not on car, but it's on the past and on the future. So, to give up that and to be very peaceful in the present is shanti. So, that aspect of inner tranquility is called this shanti. And then, apaishunam. What is apaishunam? Absence of paishunam. Apaishunam is absence of paishunam. But what is paishunam? Paishunam is gossiping or saying ill about other people. And even if it's true, we still shouldn't say it. It's just like that. Instead of quarreling with the person for being unreliable, just understand they're unreliable. You don't have to go and tell everybody about it and make them look bad. That aspect of wanting to always punish people, we should weed out of our system. Because with our gossip, what are we doing? We're using our words to cause himsa and pain behind someone's back. That's all gossip is. So that has to be taken out of our personality. Na apaishanam, not harming others with our words, even if they're not present. So many beautiful qualities are listed here. Daya bhuteshu. Daya is, we would have heard that term very often. Compassion, kindness. There's such a beautiful saying that these sadhus, these great souls, Swami Vivekananda, Gurudev, Gandhiji, that they were like cotton. How are they like cotton, you're asking? If you look at the cotton plant, you have to pluck the cotton from the plant, then they card the cotton, so they put it through, they stretch it and they pull it and they get out all the tangles. Then they strip that cotton into strips and then they make it into thread. Then they put the thread on the loom and then they make cloth. So they say a sadhu is like cotton because they undergo so much pain, so much stretching, so much sorrow, so much anguish. They might do so much severe tapas. Why? Just like the cotton undergoes so much to become the cloth that then comforts, protects, just in the same way, the sadhus sacrifice themselves to protect and serve others. They have so much compassion, daya. That sweetness is what's told here with this quality. And we all know Bhagwan Shri Ram was the perfect example of this. Karuna Nidhan Prabhu Shri Ram, Karuna Nidhan Prabhu Shri Ram. He was the very abode of all compassion. Just like this, he was willing to live in the forest, step, on all of the rocks and the thorns, just to bless all of the rishis that had been waiting for him for so many eons. So much compassion Bhagavan has. Just like these sadhus. These sadhus are living gods. Why? Because they'll sacrifice every single thing they have for the service of mankind. So this is daya. Aloluptvam. Aloluptvam. This is very interesting. It's having the quality where you don't covet every single thing that comes in front of you. Okay? Immediately, sometimes you see, you're driving past the double stand, and as soon as your eye touches that thing, your car's already pulling into buy. Okay? There's a nice experiment that these scientists did where they had these little kids, they were like 5 years old, and they put them in front of a table, and on the table they put this chocolate, okay, candy on the table. And they told the kid, okay, I'm going to go out of the room and come back. If you don't eat this chocolate until I come back, I'll give you 2 pieces of chocolate. But if you eat it now, you'll only get 1. So the researcher goes out, right? And they have this camera. And they're just to see what the kids will do. And some of them will look at it, they'll look away, they'll sit on their hands. Okay, they're trying so hard, and half of them can eat it, will eat it right away, and the other half will wait until the researcher comes back. There's one kid who, as the instructions are being given, he's picking up the chocolate to put in his mouth. And he says, no, if you just wait, you'll get 2. And he goes, and he's eating it. He's like, no, just wait. And he's like, no, I'll wait. And he's eating it. So some big people are also just like that. Moment they see it, they have to have it. They have to have it. I was at the mall once with a friend, and we were standing in line to buy something, and this girl just started talking to us. And she said, do you think I should buy this bag? And I said, I don't know, how much? And she said, it's $300, okay? And that's US, okay, because I'm from the States. So $300 US she wants to pay for this thing, right? So I was like, no, I don't think you should. But my friend said, well, I don't know, maybe if you want. She said, well, I have some dental work to get done and I don't have enough money. I am behind on my car payments and I recently lost my job. So I said, no, I really don't think you should get that bag. And she said, I probably shouldn't, but I think I'm going to get it anyway. Really, she said that. Some people are like that. They see it and they cannot control themselves. So we should have that self-control. That's what's given as this alolupam. Then mardavam, which is gentleness of spirits, and hrihi, which is modesty. Guruji says something very nice. He says, this mardavam, see, gentlemen, men should also have this quality of gentleness. These days, we always say, oh, women should be like Sita. But sometimes we forget that men should also be like Rama. Rama was so gentle, so loving, so kind. If you watch any of these Western stereotypes of what men should be like, all they are the big muscles and they go punch people and they do this kind of thing and they carry the big gun. But in our Shastras, Sri Ram always knew when to be gentle and when to use force. And even the force that he used was only in order to protect and serve, not for himself. So that gentleness is given as mardavam, hrihi, modesty. You don't need to show off, right? Hrihi. Then achapalam. Achapalam means no restlessness or purposeless movement, it says. So that means that when you're sitting to listen, you're not fidgeting with something, scratching. Some people have to shake their leg. Some people they can't sit quietly. In fact, when we were Vedanta students, for the first while, it was hard for us to even concentrate in class because we weren't used to sitting in one place. Always shifting and this leg goes to sleep and then you can't, move. So part of our lesson was just learning how to be still. So not having that agitation of body. And one thing that we should note is that if your body is agitated, it's because inside you're also agitated. You're not very peaceful in your mind, so it gets transformed into actions in your body. So, next is, we're coming close, Tejaha. Tejaha means resplendence, brightness, vigor, zest. So when people see you in the morning, you should seem bright, like you're full of energy. Not like, oh, I haven't had my third cup of coffee, so I can't talk to you right now. Some people are like that. I have a friend who's like that. You can't talk to her before she's had her coffee in the morning. Right? So, she should have this zest for life. Be excited about starting your day. Tejaha, that shine should be there. And then, I didn't want to forget this. For this achapalam, right? For not fidgeting. When you see the most chapalam is when Wi-Fi goes out and you can't connect on your phone. You should see people. They don't know what to do. Their whole, they don't know what to do with themselves. Achapalams should be peaceful. Wi-Fi is there? Good. Not there? I'm okay. I say this because I also need to practice this quality, right? Now, next is Kshama. Kshama is so nice because it says, Kshama is, even if someone is insulting me, even the thought of being angry with that person doesn't arise. That's how peaceful I am. That's how much I lack any thought of anger. So to have that Kshama. It's like when your tongue is bitten by your teeth. You never have a thought of getting angry at your teeth. You don't say, I'm going to pull out every one of my teeth that bit my tongue. You don't feel that way. That Kshama is given here as being in the absence of even the thought of anger. Dhritihi, forbearance. That means that is also very close to titiksha. It means that you're able to endure changes in your situation without becoming thrown off. So if there's air conditioning, it's nice. If there's not air conditioning, I will survive. Some people, they have to go from inside their air-conditioned car into inside an air-conditioned building. They can't be outside for even 2 minutes. So you should have that dhritihi, ability to bear. Shaucham, inner and outer cleanliness. If you go to the school, right, sometimes the little kids, you'll see they'll be all nice and bathed and they'll have their bow and their clothes are ironed. Then somehow, I don't know what happens when they become teenagers, but I think they start to feel that having a morning bath is optional, right? Outer cleanliness. Always we should be clean outside. Why? Because if for us to begin having respect for ourselves, it starts with cleanliness. Really. I remember this struck me so much. Gurudev has in one of the commentaries about puja. He says, when you go and do that puja, they do that apavitro pavitrova, right? That's purifying that space. You should know that when you sit in front of Bhagavan, you also are pure inside. You are worthy to sit in front of Bhagavan and do puja. To remind yourself of that worthiness, you keep your outside also clean. Because your outer cleanliness is a reflection of the purity that's already there within. So that inner and outer shaucham, cleanliness. Our inner self is polluted by negative, angry thoughts, jealous thoughts. Keep those things clean inside, right? Inner and outer. Then adroha. Adroha means that I'm steady, loyal, don't betray others. There's different types of drohis that are spoken of in our shastras. One is mitra drohi, to betray a friend. Another one is desha drohi, to betray your country. So that loyalty and steadiness, which is such a good quality, that is given as this adroha. None of this stabbing in the back kind of thing. Okay? Now, this is probably one of my favorites. Na ati manita. Mana, abhimana, same, right? This feeling of, well, normally when we think of abhiman, we think of who? Ravan, who thought he was so great. But in this it's given, na ati manita means no excessive overvaluation of yourself in either a positive or negative direction. Meaning, I don't sit there and say, oh, I'm the best. Everyone should love me. No one is as great as me. That is thinking too highly of yourself. But also thinking too low of yourself is also manita. Think, I'm so terrible, I'm so bad, I'm not worthy. Also, that is ego in some form. Superiority and inferiority means presence of ego. Why? Because I think I'm more important than I think the situation and the situation happening to me is more important than it actually is. So both directions it's given is this manita. Very interesting. Right? And I'll also make a note, for parents who are always like, oh, my kid is so great, you're only saying, if you see parents that are overvaluing their kids, it's really just a way to overvalue themselves. Because they're like, I did that. That's why the kid is so great. Right? So they're just using their kid to get more valuation of themselves. So we should be careful of this feeling. This is what's called Daivim Sampadam Abhijatasya Bhavanti. These qualities are born of those with this divine wealth. These qualities are found in people who have that wealth. Abhijata. And again, at this time, at Navaratri time, all of these Daivic qualities are the gifts of Mother Lakshmi. Mother Lakshmi is not goddess of money, she's goddess of inner wealth. That's why Sampatti is given. So don't pray to Mother Lakshmi to give you money, ask her to give you good qualities. Good qualities. Okay? All right. So that is Daivi Sampat. Our very dynamic Brahmachari ji will be handling Asurik Sampat tomorrow. Ooh.